Hi, my name is Trish, and in this video, I will be talking about a recent book haul that I did and my 2020 goals for my reading and this channel. I will be starting with my 2020 goals because that's the boring shit. I know I probably won't be able to get through half of these goals, but I still have a bit of that New Year's good juju left, so a bitch is hopeful. The first goal for this year is to read through all of the Grishaverse books and finally catch up on King of Scars. I haven't actually finished the Grishaverse trilogy. I've read Shadow and Bone and then stopped because it was not good. I read The Six of Crows duology before I started with the trilogy, and the difference in quality it really shocked me. It was wow. So the plan is to read the Grisha trilogy, the Six of Crows duology, the Language of Thorns novella or collection, and finally read King of Scars. I haven't made Nikolai's acquaintance yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about him. And I also heard that Zoya gets some sort of redemption arc in the next two books, so I'm really excited about that too because I am sick and tired of the girl-on-girl hate in Shadow and Bone. My second goal is to finish the 3 Dark Crowns series. So I have all the books in the series. I've actually read the first 2 books in the novella, but my dramatic ass and forgetful brain demands that I start the series again. So I'll be doing that. I can't believe I used to hate 3 Dark Crowns. Like, I fucking love it now. Like, what was up with 2018 Trish? Who was she? Yo. Also, you'd think by the 3rd time reading the book, I'd be more forgiving towards Joseph, but no, the hate just festers and grows. I just really don't like Joseph. My third goal is to go through a number of duologies in my TBR, and I know that some of these duologies actually have 3rd sequels coming out later in the year or next year, but for now they're still duologies and I want to be able to finish them before any of their sequels come out. The 3 main duologies that I want to get through is Wayward Son, which is a sequel to Carry On, The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy, which is the sequel to The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, and of course Muse of Nightmares, which is the sequel to Stranger Dreamer. I'm pretty sure I'll be reading the first books before I head onto the second books because that's how I be. My 4th goal is to read more diversely, to read about more diverse characters, people of color, and books by people of color. With the recent conversation on book Twitter about reading diversely and accessibility of diverse books, I'm fortunate to have access to diverse books and actually have the means to purchase them when I want. So there's really no excuse for me to not read diversely. The whole conversation on Twitter actually got me conscious, got me thinking about how diversely I've been reading, and looking at my shelf and looking at my Goodreads summary from last year, it was far from diverse, and that was very disappointing, and I'm actually ashamed of it. That's something I want to correct and to improve on and to change. Reading diversely is one goal that I really want to adhere to this year. My 5th goal is to read more adult books. Last year's Goodreads summary was just a whole list of YA books, and I love YA books, I adore them. It's just sometimes I fall into this pattern of not being surprised anymore, and it's not because the stories aren't different and unique, they are. I guess for me at least, YA just has this general tone to it that makes it very familiar to me. And so I want to read more adult books, not just to expand my horizons, but to also breathe some fresh air into my reading experience in between the times that I'm not reading YA. And my last goal is to do vlogs, even just a couple of them. I've been binge watching the Farah Project's videos and I love her vlogs. My favorite one is when she went to Amman with her sisters, and it was just a fun and natural and sincere vlog. And I want to try that out. I think it'd be a lot of fun to do. I actually tried vlogging when I went to Sikihor earlier this month with my friends because I bought a couple of books with me. The problem was I forgot that I was supposed to be vlogging, and for the 2 days that I stayed there, I only vlogged a couple of minutes worth. So those are my 2020 goals, and now onto the book haul. So the first book on this pile of books is If Cats Disappeared from the World by Genki Kawamura. So this is about a man who finds out he only has months to live, and before he can start with his bucket list, the devil appears and offers him one extra day to live, but in exchange, one thing in the world must disappear. The blurb says, Genki Kawamura's timeless tale is a moving story of loss and reconciliation, and of one man's journey to discover what really matters most in life. So first, I bought this because cats. Second, I bought this because it sounds like a story that will give me an existential crisis, and why not? The next book on my list is My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. It's about Karud, whose sister has a penchant for killing her boyfriends, and Karud basically cleans up her sister's mess. Like, literally, every time her sister kills somebody, she's the one who gathers the bleach and cleans up the crime scene. So, yeah, very literally. Things take a complicated turn when this doctor who Karud has been in love with for so long becomes attracted to her sister, and so Karud is put in this spot where she has to choose between continuing to cover for her sister and to intervene and save this man's life. I've actually started reading this for Blackathon, and I am flying through this book. It is so good. It's spicy. The next book on this pile is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I don't know much about this book. All I know is that it's about 4 friends and the story of their friendship and brotherhood, and that it made Kat from Paperback Dreams cry. Yeah, so a huge reason why I bought this book was because of how much Kat cried while she was reviewing it. I mean, I haven't seen her cry that much, not even for Radio Silence. As I was watching her reviewing it, all I could think of was, wow, what pain is she on? I mean, yeah, I want to read a story about friendship and brotherhood that makes me cry like that. I want to be her. The next book on this haul is Hold Still by Nina LaCour. So I've recently just read We Are Okay by Nina LaCour, and I was devastated in the best way. And I wanted to read more of her work, and it's fortunate that I found this. So it follows Caitlin, whose best friend committed suicide and left behind a journal where she sort of documents her last days and moments leading up to her death. And it basically follows how Caitlin is coping with the loss of a friend and trying to find hope in the midst of it all. Listen, I am a slut. A slut. Always a slut for friendship stories. I love them more than enemies to lovers or any sort of romance story. I just love a good friendship story. This is my kryptonite. Also, these books look good together. Like there's a clear aesthetic here. The next book in this haul is Heretics Anonymous by Katie Henry. I've been wanting to read this for so long. So this book is basically about a group of friends who go to this Catholic school, and they don't really fit into the Christian principle belief mold. So they form this secret group where they can be themselves. I grew up in a very strict Christian household and graduated from a very strict Christian high school where having questions was just the same or interpreted as doubting one's faith. And I had a lot of questions and still do. So reading this will be just as close as reading an autobiography of my Christian life, or non-existent Christian life, that is.
I have no soul.
The next book on this haul is Educated by Tara Westover. This is a memoir of Tara Westover. I don't know a lot about this book. I just know that she was born to survivalist, and that the first time she stepped inside a classroom was when she was 17 years old, and that this tells of her journey to get an education despite how she was raised. I bought this mainly because Cindy from Read with Cindy and Farah from the Farah Project had raving reviews about it, and I generally trust their taste. They're very diverse and objective readers, so if they like it, it probably means that it's good. The next book in this haul is Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield. So it centers on this village near the Thames River where a girl has been brought to life, and there's this whole mystery surrounding what happened to her. Is this a miracle? Is this magic? Is this science? We'll probably never know. Or maybe we will, because this is the entire book's premise. Next book on my list is Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki. I also don't know a lot about this book. From what I gather, the story is told through two perspectives and two timelines. The first follows Ruth, who finds this Hello Kitty lunchbox, and when she opens it, she finds a diary written by a Japanese teenager, and so she suspects that this lunchbox might have been washed away during the 2011 tsunami in Japan. The second perspective is told through Nao herself, the Japanese teenager who wrote the diary, and it follows her last days and moments before she eventually took her life. I am starting to see a theme with this haul, specifically a theme of making me cry and possibly giving me an existential crisis, expanding one's horizons. The next book in this haul is Someone Who Will Love You in All Your Damaged Glory by Raphael Bob Waxberg, the creator of BoJack Horseman. So this is a collection of short stories. There's humor, there's romance, there's really sad things. If this is anything like BoJack Horseman, then I am in for a ride. Also, I'm a bit ashamed, but not really, to say that one of the main reasons I picked this book up was because it was so pink. So damn pink. It's an adorable shade of pink. It'll look really pretty in my shelf. And the last book in this haul is Vincent and Theo, the Van Gogh Brothers by Deborah Heiligman. So this is a historical fiction about Vincent and his brother Theo, and that is all I know. I really don't know much about Vincent van Gogh's history. Well, I know, but I'm not really that in-depth. I'm familiar with his relationship with his brother, and I've always admired it. And yeah, I'm really excited to read about this. Again, friendship stories and siblingship stories. They're good. That's the stuff. So that's it for my book haul plus 2020 goals video. If this was a mess, I'm sorry. I am sorry.